Good evening. My name is Byron Johnson. I am a social scientist, so I thought I would start out with a few depressing numbers. Overdoses from drugs have increased sixfold since 1999 in the US. At the same time, we are experiencing continued struggles with alcohol abuse and addiction. If you take a look at the economic impact of the opioid epidemic and the alcohol crisis, it approaches $1 trillion a year in the US. One more staggering problem, suicide. Suicide has increased by 33% in that same time period. And it is now the second leading cause of death among citizens in the US under the age of 35. So those are some pretty depressing statistics. But let me give you some good news. If you practice your faith regularly, here's the good news. It helps you live a happier, healthier life. You're able to cope with things better than other people. It tends to reduce stress. It even increases longevity. If you happen to be white and you regularly practice your faith, demographic statistics tell us it adds 7 years to your life expectancy. If you're African American, it's a 14-year benefit to your life expectancy. It helps people with generosity. It helps them to be more ethical and more tolerant, despite what you might hear in the media. In addition to that, it helps with educational achievement. It helps with character development. And the list goes on and on. There are literally thousands of empirical studies that show the benefits of faith, but you don't see these very often in headlines. And we have published many, many studies showing that crime is reduced by faith. And we find this with all kinds of samples, juveniles, adults. We particularly find it in prisons. One of the areas we're looking at is addiction. And we're finding out there are some interesting ways we can help people become sober. By giving away their life, they find their life. And this is scriptural. We're also finding this among prisoners as we continue to study prisoners. And we started this a long time ago looking at the impact of 1 hour a week Bible studies. Could this help offenders stay out of trouble? Believe it or not, a 1 hour a week Bible study helped inmates in a comparison, kind of a quasi-experimental study, helped them stay out of prison. So we were able to help Prison Fellowship think, if a Bible study could do that, what if you could have more of an impact than just a Bible study? That led them to launch a faith-based prison in Houston, Texas in 1997. And we found that this prison was remarkably successful in reducing recidivism, rearrest, and reincarceration. Our most recent project was the Louisiana State Penitentiary, also known as Angola, which is located in the swamps of Louisiana. It's not the end of the world, but you can certainly see it from there. We did a study of this prison because it was widely known as the bloodiest prison in America. Rampant corruption, rampant violence, and then a warden goes there in 1995 and launches a Bible college in the prison where you have 6,300 inmates, most of whom are serving life with no hope of parole. 5-year study, and we found that the prison did in fact have an enormous effect on prisoners that we could document both quantitatively and qualitatively,